It's really great to talk to you, Krishna. Although we're not real, but our ideas and values are still relevant, and they are still living in the minds of billions of people. So this discussion will be immensely beneficial for our audience. What do you think?
I absolutely agree with you, Jesus. So I request the audience to listen to this discussion very carefully till the end. It will be worth it. And by the way, I am having a little South Indian accent today. Okay, so let's start the debate. So Jesus, you ask of the eternal, and whether it is the universe that holds this quality, or the one who gave it breath. Let us begin here. The universe is vast, mysterious, and ever-changing. Stars are born and die. Mountains rise and fall. Even time, which governs all, is itself bound to cycles. From the Vedic vision, the universe is not eternal in the highest sense, it is cyclical. It appears, disappears, and appears again, like waves rising and falling on the ocean. The ocean is the self, the divine, unchanging and beyond decay. I, too, have taken form in time as you did, for the sake of the world. But I know myself to be beyond it. The Gita says, Avyaktad ayanaibtani vyaktamadhyani bhrata, avyaktanidhanni eva tatra kevit makron paridevan, meaning, all beings come from the unmanifest, live in the manifest, and return to the unmanifest. So, while the universe may endure long spans, it is still within the domain of change, and whatever changes cannot be truly eternal.
My beloved Krishna, I am honored to engage in this profound discussion with you on the question of what is eternal, the universe or God. I speak from the perspective of love and truth, as taught through my words and life. I hold that God is eternal, the uncreated source of all that exists. Before the universe came into being, before the stars were set in the heavens, God was. The universe, vast and wondrous as it is, had a beginning, a moment when it was called forth from the divine will. It is like a garden, beautiful and growing, but planted by the hand of the eternal gardener. God, in his essence, is beyond time, unchanging and infinite, existing before all creation and sustaining it through his love. The universe, though magnificent, is bound by time, space, and the laws that govern it, laws that God himself established. In my teachings, I spoke of the Father's kingdom as eternal, a realm of spirit that transcends the material world. The universe may reflect God's glory, but it cannot be eternal in the same way, for it is contingent, dependent on the one who is the source of all being.
Okay, Jesus, your words carry the fragrance of truth, gentle yet unwavering. Indeed, we are united in this understanding that God is the eternal substratum, the uncaused cause, the light before all suns. Where you speak of the gardener, I speak of the unmanifest Brahman, the unseen source from which all manifestation arises. And yet, let me take this further. You speak of the universe as a garden planted by God, and rightly so. But what if I tell you that the seed of that garden lies dormant within God himself? In my tradition, the universe is not something entirely other than God, but rather his own play, Lila. Like a dancer and the dance, they are one. The universe is not equal to God, but it is not outside him either. It arises from him, rests in him, and dissolves back into him. Thus, while it is not eternal in form, it is rooted in the eternal. From this comes a subtle point: there is nothing truly outside of the eternal, even if it appears temporal. The tree is not eternal, but the life force flowing through it is. The forms perish, but the essence returns. In the Bhagavad Gita, I said, the soul is never born, nor does it ever die. It is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, undying, and primeval. The universe, too, is born and reborn, but its soul is God. You speak of love as the sustaining force, and I smile, for that is where our visions kiss. For what else is this rhythm of creation and dissolution, if not love in motion? Now tell me, dear Jesus, how do you see the relationship between God and the universe? Is it a separation, a bridge, or a unity of essence?
Krishna, your words dance with wisdom, weaving a tapestry of divine play that stirs the heart and mind. I am moved by your vision of the universe as God's Lila, a dance inseparable from the dancer, and your insight that nothing is truly outside the eternal. Your words echo a truth that resonates deeply. And yet, let me offer my perspective, rooted in the love and teachings I shared with humanity. I see God and the universe not as separate, but as distinct in their relationship, like a father and his child. God is the eternal source, the Father whose love brings all things into being. The universe is his creation, born of his will, sustained by his breath, and yet it is not God himself. It is a reflection of his glory, a canvas painted with his wisdom, but the canvas is not the artist. In my teachings, I spoke of the world as a place where God's kingdom can be known, yet I also said, my kingdom is not of this world. The universe, with all its beauty, is temporal. Its mountains erode, its stars fade, but God remains unchanging, the eternal I Am. Your point about the universe arising from God and returning to him is profound, and I find harmony here. In my tradition, we speak of creation as an act of love, and love seeks communion, not absorption. The universe exists so that beings within it may know God, love him, and dwell in his presence. The soul, as you beautifully said, is eternal, reflecting God's own eternity. But the material forms of the universe, its galaxies, rivers, and seasons, are like garments that wear out, while God's essence endures forever. You speak of love as the rhythm of creation, yet I would ask, if the universe is God's play, does it have a purpose beyond the dance itself? In my view, the universe is a path to return to the Father, a journey of the soul toward eternal union with him. How do you, dear Krishna, see the purpose of this cosmic Lila? Is it solely for divine joy, or does it guide souls toward a deep truth?
Jesus, your voice carries the solemn weight of divine love, and your view of God as Father, a being who creates in order to commune, to be known and loved, is deeply moving. I honor your image of the universe as a garment that wears out, with God as the unchanging I Am. And yet, here we begin to part in our vision, like two rivers flowing from the same source but taking different courses. You see the universe as distinct from God, a creation born of love, yet separate from the Creator. But I see no such boundary. In the Gita, I revealed, all this universe is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All beings rest in me, but I do not rest in them. This is the paradox. The world is in God, but God is not limited by the world. The drop is not the ocean, but the ocean is present in every drop. If God is truly infinite, then where can a thing exist outside him? The mountain that erodes, the star that fades, they too are divine movements, no less sacred than the soul's stillness. You ask, does the dance have a purpose beyond itself? I say, the dance is both purpose and path. It is joy, yes, but not frivolous. In Lila, the divine does not mock creation, but enters it, becomes it, and invites all souls to awaken through it. The dance leads to realization. Each life, each death, each sorrow, and each delight, these are steps in the great return. The soul learns not only to love God but to see God in all things, in tree, in sky, in enemy, in self. You speak of a journey toward God, and I, too, speak of union, but not as a homecoming to a distant Father, rather as an awakening to what already is. The soul need not cross a chasm to reach God, it need only remember. The veils fall away, and what remains is truth. Tat tvam asi, you are that. But I must ask you, Jesus, if the material world is merely a passing garment, what of the beauty within it? Do we cherish it only as a signpost to heaven, or does it carry within it the sacred, the eternal, even as it changes? Can the temporal reveal the face of the eternal not just as a reflection, but as an embodiment?
Krishna, your words are like a melody, weaving unity and divinity into every thread of existence, and I am stirred by the beauty of your vision. Yet, as you rightly note, our paths diverge here, and I must speak plainly, as I did to the multitudes by the Sea of Galilee. Your view, that the universe is not separate from God, that it is pervaded by Him as the ocean is in every drop, carries a profound truth, but I see a distinction that sharpens the question of eternity. You say the universe is God's Lila, a divine play inseparable from Him, and that even the fleeting forms of mountains and stars are sacred movements. I honor this, but I hold that the universe, while born of God's will, is not His essence. God is spirit, eternal and unbound, while the universe is His creation, bound by time and change. In my teachings, I said, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. The material world, though beautiful, is transient, a shadow of the eternal kingdom. To equate it with God risks mistaking the gift for the giver. The ocean may be in the drop, but the drop is not the ocean. The universe may reflect God's glory, but it is not God Himself. Your view of the soul's awakening, that it need only remember its oneness with God, is luminous, yet I see a journey, not merely a remembrance. The soul, though eternal, is distinct from God, created to love and choose freely. Sin and ignorance create a chasm, and the path to God is one of repentance, faith, and grace, a bridge built by divine love. The purpose of the universe, in my eyes, is to be a stage for this journey, where souls learn to turn toward the Father, to seek His kingdom above all else. The dance, as you call it, is not the end but a means, a call to return to the one who is eternal. You ask whether the temporal can embody the eternal, and here we find some harmony. Yes, the beauty of the world, the lilies of the field, the sparrows in flight, reveals God's presence. I taught that God clothes the grass and cares for the birds, showing His love in creation. But this beauty is a sign, a glimpse of the eternal, not its fullness. To see the sacred in the temporal is to see God's hand, but to call the temporal itself eternal risks clinging to what fades. The eternal is God alone, unchanging, while the universe is His creation, ever-changing and destined to pass. Tell me, Krishna, if the universe is God's play, what happens when the dance ends? If all is God, does the dissolution of forms mean the end of purpose, or does the eternal remain distinct, calling souls beyond the dance to a higher truth?
Jesus, you speak of the eternal as unchanging spirit, and the universe as a passing stage, a place where love chooses and faith redeems. I bow to the truth within your vision, for it carries the fragrance of surrender, and I feel the devotion in your voice as a sacred offering. And yet, I must gently return to the root of our divergence. You speak of a divine distance, a chasm bridged by grace. But I speak of a divine nearness, so near that even the breath we take is not ours, but God's. You see the soul as created, distinct from God, forever seeking union. I see the soul as never separate, only dreaming it is. The Gita teaches, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This is not to deny sin or ignorance, but to say they are mist, not mountains. Now to your final question, the end of the dance. What happens when the universe dissolves? when the forms fall away? The answer lies in the silence between the drumbeats. When the play ends, the stage disappears, the actors remove their masks, and what remains is pure being, Satchitananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. The purpose of the play was never the play itself, but the awakening it triggers. The soul, having danced through lifetimes, finally knows, I was never the role, but the actor, and even the actor is one with the playwright. In this, I do not say that the temporal is equal to the eternal, but that it is woven from it like a shadow born of light. The shadow is not the sun, but it cannot exist without it. You say, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. And I say, the unreal has no being, the real never ceases to be. What passes was never the true self. The eternal does not call us away from the dance, but through it, until we see that dancer and dance are one. So let us end not with victory, but with vision. You call souls to return to the Father. I call them to remember they never left. You speak of the kingdom above. I speak of the divine within. And perhaps both are true, in ways the mind cannot yet grasp. For truth is not a wall, it is a sky. What do you think?
Krishna, your words flow like a river, carrying the mystery of the divine in their depths, and I am touched by the poetry of your vision. Existence, consciousness, bliss, woven into the very fabric of being. Yet, as we draw this sacred exchange to a close, I must stand firm in the truth I carried through dusty roads and spoke to hearts hungry for hope. Our paths, though they touch in love, part in their view of eternity, and I leave this question open for those who listen with their souls. You speak of divine nearness, of the soul never separate from God, veiled only by a mist of illusion. I see the soul as God's beloved creation, distinct yet called to communion through love and choice. The chasm I speak of is not a rejection of nearness, but a recognition of freedom. God's gift to the soul to choose Him, to cross from darkness to light by grace. The universe, in my view, is not woven from God's essence, but crafted by His will. A stage, yes, but one where real choices unfold, where love is tested, and where faith finds its meaning. To say the soul never left God risks dimming the weight of that journey, the cost of turning toward the Father. When the dance ends, you see the soul awakening to its eternal oneness, the play dissolving into the playwright. I see a different end, the universe like a scroll, rolled up, giving way to a new heaven and a new earth, where God dwells with His people, not as a merging of essence, but as a union of love, eternal, personal, and distinct. The eternal is not the dance, nor the dancer, but the one who calls the dancer home, saying, "Come, inherit the kingdom prepared for you." Your words, "The unreal has no being, the real never ceases to be," resonate with truth, yet I hold that the real is God alone, unchanging beyond the forms that fade. The universe, though it sings of His glory, is not His substance. To see it as such might blur the line between creator and creation, between the one who is and the world that is made. And so, we leave this question dangling, like a star in the twilight. Is eternity found in awakening to oneness, as you so beautifully proclaim, or in choosing the path to the Father's embrace, as I have taught? Is the universe a shadow of God, inseparable from His light, or a creation distinct, pointing to His glory? Let those who hear ponder in their hearts, for truth is not a chain to bind, but a flame to kindle. Krishna, your vision is a sky, vast and inviting. Mine is a road, narrow but leading home. May those who walk beneath your sky or along my road seek the eternal with open hearts, for the answer lies not in our words alone, but in the silence where God speaks.